Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. We are back out in the old guy's shed working on a 1978 Suzuki GS550. So it's been quite a while since I recorded a video here. Had some other things going on, had some work stuff going on, and had only a little bit of time to work on it. To be honest with you, what I've been doing is putting the carburetor in, tweaking it a little bit, taking it back out to get to the adjustments that I can't get to while it's in, tweaking it, putting it back in, and doing that. I did take it for a nice little spin. I think it was the weekend before last, or just around the neighborhood. Thing runs like a top. I mean, when it's running, this thing is just smooth and got some get up and go. I tell you that. But thinking about it over the last week or so, I do want to make a few changes here, and I want to see how that works. And like I said, it's running really good. I just pulled out the spark plugs on 3 and 4 cylinder over there, and I'm gonna have to put the color tune in there because those spark plugs are pristine. I mean, I, the motorcycle is running so good. I know they got to be working, but the spark plugs are real clean. 1 and 2, not so much. So I could probably do some tuning up with the carburetor in place. I could probably get in there and fiddle enough with it to use the color tune to tune it up. But I'm going to make one more change here, I think, before before I before I call it done. So I wanted to make sure I recorded this, and we'll try a few things and see how it goes. And of course, yep, it means taking out the carburetor and one more time. So we'll see how this goes. All right then. So I wanted to show you the problems that I'm facing in close up here. So you can see here's number one carburetor. Its adjustment point is for the fuel air mixture is up in here where my finger is. So this one isn't too bad. You can actually get to it. The problem comes when you get down to here to that one right there, number two, and on the other side, number three. You can see I can barely get my finger in there, and trying to get anything in there to turn and adjust is a problem. So that's why I'm thinking that I need to do something here for the fuel air mixture. Like I said, I can get this one, but that number two down in there is so far in there, and you can see. Um, let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I can't do that. Anyway, so yeah, you can see the number two down in there is pretty difficult to get in under here. I'm not sure you couldn't get anything in there to turn. So that's what I'm working on. So let's see if I come up with something for that. All right then. Sorry if you hear some rustling around. It's wind's blowing pretty hard today. Anyways, so here's just a spare one of the sacrificial carburetors I've got, and you can see here's the fuel air mixture, and here's one of the screws that goes. There's a spring that goes on there, but then it gets in there, and you can see that once it gets in, there's you can't even really get anything in there. So a couple things I've tried so far was to take one of these hex Allen keys here, bolts. This is one of the ones that was on these right here. And what I did is used the multi Dremel tool thing here, and I actually put in a cut both sides and fit a tongue in there, and then used some of this liquid plastic adhesive on there. It's the kind that cures with UV. That didn't work at all. It sort of worked, but it wouldn't hold up. So then I did the same thing. I took that same screw and I used some super glue. So you can see here, hopefully you can see there. So where the slot is, I've actually cut the screw with the Dremel tool to fit in there. And I did a little bit different on each side. on this side over here, I made a square cut, and over on this side, you probably can't see it, I made more of an angle cut. So I think the square cut I like a little bit better. I was thinking that with the angle cut, I might be able to get some better buildup of the super glue, but this is two coats of super glue in there, and it's pretty tight. It's pretty solid. I'm a little bit surprised. I got some fresh super glue. Maybe that's what it is. But you can see that it actually it's not exactly centered, but it lets you get the screw in there pretty good. The problem is that again I don't have a lot of room, and when it's in upside down trying to get something in there, I could probably get a pair of pliers on there to turn it, but that would probably be problematic, and I'm worried that this is gonna fail. Well, I know it'll fail. I know at some point the screw will come off just because of the vibration and the heat in the motorcycle. I would expect this screw to come off the valve there. So I don't need it to last long enough. Very long. I just need it to last long enough that I can tune up the engine. So I think what I'm going to do is the same kind of thing, except I'm going to use hex heads. So now so I'll do the same thing. I'll cut a tongue in here on the end of this, and then I'll use some super glue and I'll put it in there, and then I've got a little bit more room, and then also I can get a socket or just even a wrench in here to turn it once I get that in place. I've got a couple of different lengths. I think I'm probably gonna have to figure out what the length is here. My other problem is so when I take the carburetor out and then I modify these bolt heads and get them all super glued and get the needle valves back in there, that when I go to put the darn carburetor back in, I'm worried that they'll get bumped and then they'll come off, and I certainly don't want that to happen. But so I don't think I want to come out very much farther than what this is, and I think this length right here is going to probably be about the max that I'll do. For the ones on the end, cylinder 1 and 4, I certainly don't need that length. 2 and 3, I think I will use this longer length, just because I know I'm going to need that to be able to get a wrench in there and do the adjustment. So that's the plan. Let me get at it, and so I am going to take I'd been trying to make sure I had a good plan before I took the carburetor out. I still may try to do one last tune on it before I take that carburetor out, using the color tune, but let me think about it a little bit and we'll be back. All right then, so I went and took the motorcycle out for just a real quick spin, just to get it warmed up before I put the color tune on, and let's see if we can see it here. This, you can see this is the spark plug out of the number 1, if it will focus. Almost had it. Anyways, yep, it was some pretty good carbon for the amount of time that it ran. So I came back, put the color tune on, and we'll go ahead and start this up. Hopefully you can still hear me. Boy, it sounds pretty darn good. Let's see if we can get a picture of this down here on the color tune. Yeah, oops, hold on. I got the light on, that's the problem. Alright, now I don't have the light on. Maybe we can see it now. Yeah, it's not gonna show up the color tune. I'm wondering if I put the mirror on, if you'd be able to see it then. But yeah, so when I first put the color tune on, it was pretty yellow orange, real bright. And now when I have the, I went ahead and did the adjustment on number 1, and so now that one's pretty good. So I'm gonna go back and go through and put the color tune on the rest of them just to check. The only one I think that might be off is number 2, and then I want to take a look at 3 and 4 and see how they look. So hopefully we won't have to pull this guy out and do my bludge, whatever you want to call it, adjustment there. So let me pause here and we'll see what we can do. All right, then I went ahead and checked them all with the color tune. Of course, number 1 is still, and I pulled the spark plugs out here. Number 1 is looking a lot better now. Number 2 is the one I've got the problem with. It's not going to focus on us here. That's what happens when you try to use an old cell phone for taking pictures, videos. Anyway, so yeah, so number 2 is still the worst one. Number 3, I'm almost a little bit concerned about because it might be running too lean. You don't want to run it too lean because of temperature. If it's running too lean, it can overheat and cause damage to the cylinder valves. So, but anyways, number 3 is real clean, and looking at it on the color tune, looked really bluish white is kind of right at the limit of where you want to be. And then number 4 looked real good. So what I'm going to do is put them in a jar here and put some Simply Green in there and throw them in the ultrasonic cleaner to get a good baseline. And then I think I'll come out tomorrow morning and clean them up, put them in, and we'll go for a nice long ride. Maybe we'll take you guys along with me, and then get back and take a look at the spark plugs. If they are even halfway close, I'm done. So we'll see how that goes. Alrighty then, so yep, I did go ahead and take the carburetor out once this morning and adjusted 2 and 3 cylinders. So seems like it's running pretty good now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it for a ride. I'm gonna try to record some, but we'll see how that goes. I don't have an action camera, so let me see if I can get some footage of us taking a nice long ride. I think I'm gonna go down Grant Seafood Festivals this weekend. It's about a 25-30 mile ride, somewhere in that range. So I think I'll see if we can get down there. I do have the toolkit in the motorcycle and also a wire brush, so in case I have to clean up some spark plugs, I can do it with what I got on the motorcycle. So yep, let me pause here. We'll get on the road and see what we can get into. Alrighty then, I had to make a little detour, wanted to get some gas, use ethanol free. Pretty loud, pretty windy. I'm not sure how much this is going to come out or how good the video is. We're about ready to hit back on US 1 here. And so we'll see how this goes as far as recording. Alright then, so I had some, hope you can hear me, had some scalps and some key lime pie at Grant Seafood Festival here. So motorcycle's been sitting for a little bit, and this is the big test right here, as if whether it starts up. Oop, just a little bit of choke it might need. Oh yeah. You can see my hokey setup for the how I tried to record it when I was on the way down. But anyways, we'll check the spark plugs when I get back to the shed. Well, alrighty then. So I made it home safe and sound, and let the bike cool down for a little bit. Took the spark plugs out and checked them. Number 2 still has a little bit of carbon on it, but at this point, I'm not going to worry about it. It runs good, ran real good. On the way down there, I did try to take video. I'm going to include a very short clip. I hope I hope it's not too bad for you. It didn't really turn out that good. A lot of wind noise and a lot of vibrations. So anyways, yep. So the only other thing I'd wished I'd done is, I went down to Grant Seafood Festival and pulled in and had quite a few people comment on it. And I realized that I had never gone back and cleaned it up and shined it up. Parts could use a little bit of wax and a little bit more polishing here and there. So I'll probably do that over the next couple weekends to get her looking real spiffy. So anyways, I think we're done. I think we're done with this project. Pretty excited about it. Got a motorcycle to run around town with, at least. Runs pretty good, and real pretty happy with the way it turned out. Couple things. Just so you know, I did announce my retirement at work. So coming up in a couple weeks, I'll be retired. So that's pretty good. I do have quite a few things in projects to do. Nothing I'll probably record for YouTube, but then I do have some plans later on that we may pick up the old guy's shed again. Maybe doing some different. Maybe I'll go get another motorcycle to recondition. Or maybe we'll do something completely out of something completely different. But yeah, so and just so you, also so you know, so this series was more for me to see how this kind of stuff works and how much effort it takes and what kind of things you need to do to do some videos. So learn quite a bit doing these kind of videos instead of the Minecraft videos. So yeah, so we'll see. I haven't really solidified my plans. Like I said, I got a bunch of projects to do now that I'll be retired around the house. First one is going to be to clean this up to get it to at least something I can use, and then I'm going to put another garden shed so that I can move most of the stuff and to have a spot for the motorcycle outside of the shed over closer to the house. So that'll be a pretty big project. It'll take me a while to get done. And then I'll be able to make this into more of a workshop shed instead of a storage/mess shed. Anyways, wanted to say thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Please leave any comments, questions, suggestions down below. Please tell your friends about me, and please subscribe. Everyone, take care and be good.